Good evening, T. What's up, Super Lady Gamer? Welcome to the stream. T, you've been gaming? What have you been gaming? That's exciting. Hey, Knight. Yo, 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 indeed. Empress. Good to see you. No kidding. I think we've got more than a few gamers around, that's for sure. I definitely qualify this week. Obviously, D&D counts, but finished up Silent Hill 1 last night and started digging into the Seance of Blake Manor, which I'll probably pick up later tonight still. Baby's healthy night. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Okay. Let's get it going here. I don't think I've done one of these at night before. It feels kind of weird. Hope I can still be creative. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we've got to catch up first with 1031, end of last month, and then we'll switch. Oh wow! So we've got actually two left-sided pages. Night, you're trying to prep a one-shot session, and you have 0 ideas. Please. Questions are welcome. Just my dice will hold the page open. Your games definitely can't be played on a pair of Joy-Cons and need mouse trackpad. Yeah, that's fair. Empress, would I ever consider doing live streams or videos about how to make characters on a D&D sheet based on race, class, etc.? Kind of a how-to guide, depending on min-maxing RV-based characters first time. But yeah, so I've got a bunch of stuff. I've never really made content for players. And I don't think that's strictly players, but I'd say that's primarily players. But I think it would be interesting to do, right? We've talked about it here and there on the stream, like, you know, what makes a player a great player, you know? And I think along with that comes ideas like well, what does it mean to develop a character, and what does it mean to design a good character for a game, right? Everything from, you don't want no backstory, but you don't want a backstory that's so big that you're the main character before the game even starts, right? How to translate tropes and things that inspire you into things inside of the system that you're playing in. Yeah, I think there's a lot to dig into there. I do it with my players when I run games. You think a great player is one who kills every single character they come in contact with. Murder hobo for life. Hey, more power to you. You would hate every game that I run. I'm sure that it would drive me nuts to try to run a game for you, but I'm sure there's a table for that. Yeah, so I guess that's the short answer, Empress. I definitely would consider it. I've got sort of a backlog of ideas that I think could work, you know, for player-centric stuff. It honestly is just not something that I've, you know, I'm not... It's a curious thing, right? Like, you know, and how much of my audience are D&D players versus people that are dungeon masters. Coffee or a beer? I find both can be creatively conducive. It just depends. I could do it for the... You're right. Here's what I think would be fun. It could be fun to make something like that, but it would probably be more fun, and I'm spitballing this, haven't thought about this at all, but it would be fun to imagine something like this, but instead of it being kind of like writing it here and spinning or whatever, you know, it's almost like a new character boot camp. Like somebody's working on, like they are a player, they're working on a character and talking it through. Like basically, is there a way to take what I do with individually with my players before a campaign and do it with just anybody who's working up a character concept, and, you know, kind of go back and forth and see what we can make. We'd have to like time box it, because that could very easily become crazy, but that could be fun. Okay, so we'll use the prompts at the front of the book for 1031. Yeah, that could be neat. Could be neat. All right, let's find something to start with. Straight up 80. Straight up 80 gives us first and last. First and last. So if you've never seen one of these streams before, the goal is to create something akin to an encounter in these 5 lines. Yeah, I noticed that too, T. I was hoping that I was only seeing it, but you're right. It kind of comes and goes like right down here. Not sure why. And it's weird because I don't think it's happening to me here. I think it's only happening on the other. Should I try to fix it? Here, let me see if I can fix it. Oh, you all have names. Okay, let me see what I can... Can I fix what we're seeing? You guys actually might have to... Here, look at my map for a minute. Guess I should have looked into this before a stream, huh? Let's see. Let's see. Still got it? No. I think that corrected it. Okay. Okay. Where were we? What were we saying? First and last. That's the prompt. So first and last could be, you know, I think of first session, I think of last session, I think of tying sort of the end to the beginning, certainly timey-wimey stuff. A race. A race. That's a fun idea. Yeah, that's awesome, Empress. Let's do that. I think we can make that work. Okay. All right. First table. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to ... So we're going to take this idea of racing, this idea of competition, you know, could be a race through the desert, could be a race to collect, could be a hunt. All we know is that there are people competing and there's something, well, there's going to be something to win, but at least initially, it's the first one to something. Now, in a race context, this could happen in lots of different places. It could say, you know, first one to, certainly the idea of the finish line, but more flavor than that. You know, first one to the ravine, or first one to outrun something. First one to catch the beast. That could work. Could be a race like the Olympics, yeah. Something that was like, it's like handing off, like first, you know, it's like a handing off the baton sort of thing. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to catch the wild creature. Let's try that. True. It could be something where we're building maybe horses, or maybe like something constructed, right? It's like the first creation, the first construct, the first robot across the line. First one to I mean, also like a hunt, like finding something, right? You know, culturally speaking, like, you know, for where I'm from, it's an Easter egg hunt. And if you break it down, like what's actually going on when people search for Easter eggs, it sounds a lot like a D&D, like a fantasy realm, like cultural type thing, where it's like, wait, what are they finding, and what do they say is the reason for that, and why? So it's almost the same sort of idea. It could be an obstacle race. That's a good one too. What would be hiding? We've got catching the creature. We've got to find something. Find the yeah, I like scavenger hunt too. First one to find every, like, what is, or there are a bunch of maybe that fit together. Find every, maybe it's every runestone. Maybe they're like these stones that sort of teleport and zap around. Collect every rune. Collect every runestone. I think I like that one. Mario Kart buffs. I mean, talk about a good use of Mario Kart maps to go in and reskin them for D&D purposes. Why not? Maybe I like this, like this race concept, but outside of like a track, right? So first one to make it out of the storm, right? First one to escape the storm, let's say. I like that. And then of course there's always like could be something like scaling, could be scaling a mountain, could be scaling a giant. Could be escape the hunters, like having a rival party or something chasing them. Because the party is the most dangerous creature to hunt. True. First one to, how would that be? It'd be like, I mean, at that point, what you're talking about, that feels more like that's a survive the night. That's like, you have to evade the hunters for some period of time, right? Yeah, first I think evade the hunters. So finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to 1 is catch the wild beast. 2, collect every runestone. 3 is escape the storm. And 4 is evade the hunters. Yeah, definitely. And I like the idea of you could almost amplify the objectives if you were rolling on this to say, I'm going to roll for 2 things actually, and then put those together. Yeah. So we've got catch, collect, escape, evade. I don't mind the idea of scaling a giant, but normally giants aren't like that, like Shadow of the Colossus style big, but it could be, right? Scaling to the top. It's like we've returned with like a hair from the giant's head type of thing. Hey, Construct. Did I not make it clear enough in my little announcement? The rare evening daily. Or every so many days whenever I can. That's all right. It stings, it hurts, but that's all right. So far we have finally they announced the terms of the competition. First one to 1, catch the wild beast. 2, collect every rune stone. 3, escape the storm. 4, evade the hunters. I think 5 is going to be... is it better to say scale the giant or return with a hair from the giant's head? Return with a giant's hair. Could be, maybe it's both. Are they noticeably different? I think I like return. You like scale? I like scale, but I think it's going to be in a different context. Because as I'm imagining scaling the giant, I think it needs to be... So, catch the wild beast, collect every runestone, escape the storm, evade the hunters, return with a giant's hair, scale the wizard's tower. Catch, collect, escape, evade, return, scale. It feels like there should be some sort of like defeat or outsmart. Or like solve. It's one of my encounters. There has to be a solve option. Or maybe it's like maybe there's like a hedge maze. Maybe it's to navigate the hedge maze. No royals yet. Yeah, solve it like a solve a crypt puzzle. Solve the maze of the royal's castle. Okay. I realize using D6s doesn't allow me to cover for 7 and having 7 and 8, so I guess then we switch to... There we go. Boom. So the last few: scale the wizard's tower, navigate the hedge maze, and then solve the crypt keeper's puzzle. What's the game called, T? Volume. Okay. Yeah, Knight, this is a 5-year diary. It's a Midori, Midori. The idea is that you journal 5 years in a row, basically. And so I've had this for a while because I like the idea, but then there was never sort of like something that felt like it fit. Because it feels like that I gotta have something, I gotta have a good reason to use it. I don't know how, and if I won't stick to it, I'll be really disappointed in myself. And so finally pulled it off the shelf to do this idea. Who knows what we're gonna... Thinking years ahead with this idea is kind of overwhelming, so who knows? But right now it's day at a time. So finally, they announced the terms of the competition. Catch the beast, return with a giant's hair, navigate the maze. The winner receives ... So finally, they announced the terms. Everybody's set to go. They call it, and it's a tense competition. It's the first one to do so and so, and after everything, the winner receives something. Their freedom. Maybe there's even sort of like a hall pass from the king, like, we'll look the other way once. This is straight up like IOU, get out of jail free card. Freedom's a good place to start, yeah. It's true, Empress. Doing both would be pretty awesome. I'm not sure I have the space. But I generally, yes. It is first and last, I know. I thought about that. I guess we do have all this space over here, don't we? The winner receives their freedom. The winner could also receive... What would be a good prize? Why bother with a race? Why bother with a competition? I think of like like the target practice, or the target the arrow competition. Like, do you want an audience with the king? That's how you get that. And there we work the royals into it. Weapons, gold, jewels, wish, money, trophy, ego, pride, title. A ship. Taken in whatever way. Oh. Talking about some like crossing the veil. Pink slips. It's the only way to win Grease Lightning. Gotta race in the what even was that? Race the channel? Race the Grease Deep Lore. I don't know what it was actually called where the race was held. Yeah, I like the idea of like what, the Kessel Run? No. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in Greece. When Johnny takes, is it Zuko's place? For some reason, I don't remember why. Does he mess up his hand or something? He's like, I can't race. And Johnny does it. Messes up the car bad in the process, but they do win. Getting all their names wrong. Knish? I don't know. Now I'm thinking I'm mixing up my shows. Anyway. Thunder Road, thank you. Audience with a god or visiting. How about, so maybe it's like safe passage to the underworld. That works. That sounds like something that you'd want in D&D for some reason. The idea of weapons, you know, important ones like the you'd also fight for support, right? A supporting, you know, you know, the Marauders will join the rebellion. You know, the rebels, the so and so will sign on. C.A.T. Yeah, I like that. Support for the cause. Though the it's like the organizers themselves. Maybe I just go with it like the show them you're fit to get in and out of their domain without. Yeah, exactly, Empress. You put that well, although you are the Empress of Death, so that makes sense. The winner receives their freedom, an audience with the king, a ship, safe passage to the underworld, the support of the rebels, the respect and support of the rebels. Certainly gold, but gold is sometimes just a proxy for opportunity, right? Money will motivate a party to an extent, but power almost always motivates, like, you know, new magic, new weapons, new abilities. Something about control. Actually, that reminds me. So the new game that I'm playing, which there's a lot to talk about it so far already, just a couple of hours in. But there's a druid character that you meet, literally a druid in this manor. It's a detective game called the Seance of Blake Manor. It's new, and it's really good. And the druid character is really fascinating. All the characters are really interesting, which makes the game fun to play. But the druid is great because they're going to a seance in the context, like they're staying in this manor and attending a seance, not because they're interested in the seance, but because they are concerned about like the type of people, like what's wrong with people that they would be more fascinated with the dead than the living. Like that take on like the magic and like, you know, raising the dead, talking to the dead, speaking to the dead. It's like, why would they think the dead? It's like, what are they going to talk about? How they died? Whatever. Like this is not, you know, we've got living things to concern ourselves with. They're not us anymore or whatever. It's like, that's such a fresh, like interesting perspective, because it's not even necessarily that it's like wrong to like do that magic. It's just like, who cares what they have to say? What on earth could they help us with? They're gone, right? What are they going to tell us how like boring it is in the underworld? Like, I just thought that was so interesting. Anyway, sorry, sidebar, but it's a good game so far. Okay. Control of the city. I think some sort of like set of weapons or armor could be neat too, especially if we gave it sort of a name or like an allure. So maybe it'd be like the captain's, weapons forged by, forged by a master. Weapons forged by a master, maybe. Yes, in fact, I will be playing after this, and I'm going to be experimenting with, for the first time, having this stream forward over to that stream, which I've never tried on YouTube before, so. Mortals don't necessarily fear the dead, they fear the unknown of after death. Yeah, I think so. Most everything around death is existential, I think, but there are things that proxy for that, right? Where it's like, ooh, it's spooky. It's like, well, it's only There's a reason that horror tropes, like how many scary things anymore are like basically weird, like children, especially like scary little girls, or even just scary women in general. Like, well, it's because it's the thing that's least like us. Like the least like the major viewing public of like horror stuff, right? It's like it's the unknown is what's scary, but it gets depicted as creepy kids. It's like, well, yeah, we're not kids, so that feels other. Like the other, the unknown is what's scary. Okay. I mean, it's not just, but I'm saying I think when that happens, a lot of that is because it's to assist with that distance for sure. Obviously, it's not exclusively a thing, but it's definitely a trope. Yeah. Probably knowledge, like freedom, influence, capability, travel, a ship, passage to the underworld, support in war, strategy, weapons, capabilities, you know, a book, or maybe like access to the library of something something. The answer to a single question. Now you sound like players in my game. Can we just get an absolutely true statement about a single question? It's like, go on a quest first. Answer to a prayer. Yeah. It's true. Something given above table, is it too meta? It's probably too meta, yeah. Or it's too specific. But I like where your head's at. I think that's a good place to think. The winner. Freedom. Audience with the king. A ship. Safe passage to the underworld. The support of the rebels. Weapons forged by a master. An answer to a question. Or directions. Maybe it should just be, maybe there should be something on here that's straight riches, right? Like we've got a ship, we've got weapons, we've got information, power. It's like trunks of gold. Here's my Cheetos. Trunks. Or like the horde. Like what are the vaults? Everything in the dwarven vaults. It's like that shopping spree. Could be a place to live. Yeah, like a stronghold maybe. How about it maybe like a maybe like a manor and all the treasure inside. How about that? It's unheard of. Going to the next page. The loser. The loser. So finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to catch the beast, collect every rune, navigate, evade, solve. The winner receives their freedom, or an audience with the king, a ship, a manor, an answer to a question, support at war. Now the losers, or the loser, sadly, receives banishment. Cold start, Empress. Cold start. Thanks, Levels. I've been practicing my entire life. So you can win all these great things, but if you lose, you are banished. The loser receives the bill. The loser receives judgment. Perhaps, you know, a sentence, the guilty sentence. Because it's nice to have the cost with the benefit, right? It's like, okay, well, if we win, look at what we get. It's like, yeah, but is it worth the risk? Because look what they'll do if we don't. Yeah, it's like they receive a demotion. It could be prison time. It's kind of like banishment. Kind of curse. How could they be cursed? What's up, Skadoodle Man? It's a fun username. Hey, do you have an idea for a magic item to give to a level 6 party? And this isn't my campaign. This is just for fun. This is just building some encounter tables. Magic item for a level 6 party. Try to put myself in the mindset, but my parties are decently high right now. Level 6 could be fun if to maybe try to give them items that are a set, which coordinate kind of across the party. So perhaps, you know, a dwarven inventor created some mechanical gadgets that they can't really work together, but if each member of the party is using one, then they provide some sort of benefits, right? You could think about things like communication. You could think about, you know, passing opportunity attacks or passing even like bonus actions back and forth or reactions from one to the other. I have some items in my game that allow you to like store attacks to basically bank them using stuff like that. So maybe things like that could be interesting. I mean, obviously I'm talking about like, creating something from scratch. I don't have necessarily a specific item to point to, but it can be fun around that kind of 6 to 8 level to start finding ways to encourage players to kind of coordinate some of their strategy a little bit more, and that can be a way to encourage that. The blinded for 100 days construct would be crazy. I mean, it could always be something more generic. It's like the a curse from the witch, let's say. Not sure how she's involved in this competition, but losers receive banishment, jail time, a hefty fine, a curse from the witch. How about bounties on their heads? How about like a suicide mission? How about, an impossible quest? I like that. What about a magic shield that can expand to also affect any allies in a 5 or 10 foot radius? Very cool. Yeah. I like that idea. That's neat. I was thinking back to what you said, Empress. They lose their favorite NPC or summon. What if they have to take one? What if like it's kind of like when we had that like tag along, like now they're basically given like a chaperone. They're given a ward. They're given responsibility for some creature. Some sort of a pest, some sort of an annoying. I mean, it could just be the a creature a beast to care for, or something like that, something to watch over, or maybe it's worse to have an actual character to accompany them. Maybe that's the worst way, kind of like when we were doing that sidekick idea a few days back. Yes. I think I like that. I think I like a chaperone for their adventures. Someone to watch them on their adventures. Last one. Okay, so the loser sadly receives banishment, jail time, a hefty fine, curse from the witch, an impossible task, bounties on their heads, a chaperone to travel with them. What's up, Stan? Yeah, we are breaking the rules on this one. Finally, here's the prompt. Finally, they announce the terms of the competition. First one to catch the wild beast, collect every runestone, escape the storm, navigate the hedge maze, some sort of competition. The winner receives their freedom, an audience with the king, a ship, safe passage, support of the rebels, and the loser sadly receives banishment, jail time, a hefty fine, a chaperone to travel with them. Just need the last thing that the losers of the competition might receive. Maybe it's the turn of phrase would be difficult, but it's almost like now they become the hunted, but we don't know which, we don't know which of the options necessarily. They have to become the host of something. Like a parasite? Like they're What if something like possession? Ugh. Okay, what if what they receive is 24 hours to choose a sacrifice? That leaves some flexibility, but that also gives like whoa, what kind of competition are we in? It's like either yourselves or you're going to choose somebody else, like basically putting you at odds with now whoever's putting it on. One hour? Dang. Well, the nice part about 24 hours is it gives them a sporting chance if they want to make a run for it. Far be it from me to take away a party's chance to be the subjects of a manhunt. Like, oh, you guys are going to give me the chance to have this powerful group coming after you at every turn? An unspecified sacrifice? Well, that's where there's some ambiguity there on purpose, right? All right. Holy cow. Biggest one we've done. Let's roll some. This is going to be... Okay. All right. Just pick an order here. Doesn't matter right now. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to solve the Crypt Keeper's puzzle will receive a ship. Sadly, the loser receives an impossible task. So everyone's racing to solve... Oh no, the glitch is back. Everyone's racing to solve the Crypt Keeper's puzzle down in the tombs, down in the royal tombs, down in the Undercroft. And whoever wins can sail out with the ship of the dead, right? It's like a ghost ship that, there are some minor limitations to it, Of course, anybody who doesn't solve the puzzle of the tomb will have to find their own way out because it seals, and only the victors will be given passage. But the tomb does connect to the underworld, so you can always find a way out there. Good luck. I'll watch for the glitch. I'm not sure much I can do about it. Maybe I just need a restart of my machine. A 3, a 4, and an 8. 3 tables gives us so many possibilities. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. The first one, to escape the storm, will receive safe passage to the underworld. Kind of going back to what I said before. However, the loser, sadly, will receive 24 hours to choose a sacrifice. So the storm in this case, this almost feels like somebody is like, okay, listen, I can grant you guys passage to this to the beyond. But it doesn't come like a portal. It's not nice and kind. What it does is it's basically like a hailing frequency. It's basically going to pull everybody in. It's sort of this like death storm. And yeah, I mean, if you can escape it, if you can escape the velocity and not be pulled in, then you can basically cross the veil peacefully. But if you can't, I suggest you bring someone to bargain with, because you'll be needing to hand over a soul or two to bargain your way out of that one. Kind of similar to the first roll, but different enough. Let's see, which one did we do? Do it in this order. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to scale the wizard's tower is going to receive a manor and all the treasure in it. The loser, sadly, will receive a hefty fine. This one feels very much like, okay, so yes, you are all named in the wizard's will. Took us some time to decipher it. It's not simple, but he does say here that whosoever scales the first to scale the tower will receive my manor and everything in it. And it doesn't specify here exactly the terms of the fine if you fail, but probably magic is probably the fine. Probably just everything that you have that's magic. Maybe even spells, I don't know. He's kind of a jerk like that. Is it worth it for all of the wizard's possessions? If in exchange the wizard gets all of your possessions. What's up, Sebastian? Got a 2 and 2 8s. I need to reroll one of these, right? I need to reroll both of these. We've had the 3. Nope, I did both of the 3s also. Dang, with these repeat rolls. Okay, this one I think we can do. Yeah, okay. Finally, they announced the terms of the competition. First one to collect all of the rune stones will receive weapons forged by a master. The loser, sadly, receives a curse from the witch. This feels almost like the relationship is between the the forger, the craftsman, and the witch, right? Where it's like, okay, it's almost like it's like a twisted relationship. It's like, well, the benefactors of this particular competition are the the witch and the craftsman, and as a result, if you can collect these runes that they've sort of sent throughout the town, he'll forge you weapons. But on the other hand, if you fail, then she gets to curse you, and well, that's just because that's what she enjoys. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next day. It's a good one. Good idea with the race. 11-1. Oh yeah, I was glitching out there hardcore, wasn't I? Skadoodle Skidoo, you got something? Very toxic competition. You have a +1 shield that can be activated. The shield expands, providing the same AC bonus to any allies within 10 feet. The shield deactivates upon the wearer's next turn. Sounds good to me. Okay. So let's get a prompt from the front. 2 front prompts today. That's just the way it goes. Another 80, this time an 85. 85 says... 85 says carriage ride. Carriage ride. Carriage ride makes me think of, you know, more passage, more travel. Maybe it's a travel conversation. Stories told while traveling to and fro, kind of campfire stories type of things. Could be kind of fun. We've dabbled, I think, once before with like rumors and tall tales that could be played through. Maybe these are like backstory tidbits, right? It's like, hey, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. You know, as you're taking a ride, traveling to and fro, adventurers have to entertain one another with a story. Might be too broad an idea for this, though. It's very broad, actually. Could also be places to travel to in a carriage. Carriage games instead of card games. Yeah, kind of. You know, I spy with my beholder's eye. License plate from Nighthawk. Or wherever. It's a good question, Stan. What halts the carriage ride on the road? Like, halts it in place immediately. There we go. That's our first one. It's always the void when constructs. Okay. The carriage came to a sudden stop, so as not to hit. Start with 1. The void. Death shepherds. Death shepherds makes me think of, like, you know, 10 goats with like burning red eyes. a herd of red-eyed goats. Do goats have red eyes? Maybe that's why I'm thinking of red. I feel like possessed goats would be a scary thing to run into at night. Or during the day, for that matter. Kids playing in the road. Deaf leopards? Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit a tear in reality. Okay. What's onyx? Is that like the really like rock-like substance? An onyx knight? I feel like that'd be really hard to see. All right, sure. I've never written down an onyx knight before. Very reflective. Undead shepherds with their undead livestock across the undead road. Guys, we're missing the... You hit me there with the undead. That made me think of it. The carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to run into the ghost carriage. Come on, it's staring us right in the face. So obvious. So obvious. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit a tavern. What's something that has no business being in the road, right? We've got all these things that could cross. I mean, obviously a certain ominous meaning from what's there. You know, thick fog, thick smoke, a wall of flame. There we go. Wall of flame has no business being there. There's smoke if there's flame. Definitely does. Landslide, cave-ins, or like a cabin, or like a fishing boat. It's always fun to run into a wizard's tower that has no business being there. It's the lake. I do like a yeah. They were just following the instructions. It says it's further up. So many roads dead end in lakes. It's like, how did this happen? Graduated to a D8 here. Walking cabin, like the Baba Yaga. It could be something giant. Maybe it is a giant chicken. It's got some reason to cross the road, but could be castle. Turn left. Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. A massive, massive foot. That would have to be very massive to be able to, like, be a disruption in the road, so that... Okay. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit. Group of goats, a Terran reality. Onyx Knight, the ghost carriage. Wall of flame. Is the kicker. Is what we needed. Is what we needed. If this is what'll make this shine. I'm going to write it down first. Okay. The carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit one of these crazy things, but the driver, the carriage driver, called back to the group, "Don't worry, ... I know them. I know these guys." Driver, kind of just adjusting to see, looks back. Okay, I can hear you guys. "Don't worry." That's what I was going to say, Empress. "I know a shortcut." So that's more of like a hold on, I know a shortcut. I've got the fee. I can pay the fee. Hey, Charles. Welcome to this. This is a daily encounter stream. So basically what I do is, this is for today, for November 1st. I've got this journal. It's like a 5-year journal, and we've got these 5 lines we try to, based on prompts that I've written in this book, basically come up with in this short stream an encounter in just like 5 lines. And usually it's a couple of tables that roll pretty well together. So the prompt here was the idea of a carriage ride, which took us to, the carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit. That was the sort of the initial part of the phrase, and we complete that with the table. 1 is a group of red-eyed goats. 2 is a Terran reality. 3 is an Onyx Knight. 4 is the ghost carriage. 5 is a wall of flames. 6, the lake. 7, the stone tower. 8, a giant foot. Second statement, so the second table, to kind of create the story here, the setup for the encounter. The driver of the carriage called back to the party, "Don't worry." And we're finishing that statement. So number 1 is, I know them. Number 2 is I know a shortcut. Number 3 is I can pay the fee. Number 4 could be this is our stop. Don't worry, it's an illusion. This always happens. How about, don't worry. They just need a ride. Don't worry, it's my ex's place, or it's my ex. The driver's a double agent. They've been hired to bring the party there. Exactly. Yeah, like this started with like an event, and now it's actually, this is a backdoor character creation. This is an NPC we're creating, but we're doing it. I've never done it this way before. We're doing it by way of creating a situation and saying, what is this otherwise like normal dude or dudette? This normal dude, what does he say in response? And based on what he says, actually creates that character in a second. Man, I hate this place. Every time we come down this road, the group of red-eyed goats tear in reality. Don't worry. It's just my ex. I can pay the fee anyway. I know them. Sorry, stop. You know, I know its weakness. Yeah, this is our stop. Got that. That's a good one, Charles. Maybe there's something about knowing its weakness, or about we just need. No, yeah. Well, no, yeah, you got it. We're on the same wavelength already. Don't worry. A way around it, a way through it. This is the destination. I know who they are. They're actually getting on. What else would leave no room for worry? This won't take long. It could, yeah, it could be like maybe his like it's don't worry about me, I'm out of here. Don't worry about me, I quit. I actually like that. I would like to take this opportunity to tender my immediate resignation. Could play off something like an illusion. Like last time, it was just an illusion. Don't worry. I don't think it sees us. I don't think they see us yet. That's actually a different type of encounter. That would set up a stealth, I suppose. Somebody else better take the reins. It's like that. It's like in an old like movie where they like pour out the bottle of wine because they're like, okay, well, let's. Don't worry, I've never lost anybody before. Don't worry, we just need a sacrifice. All right, 2 D8s. Do some test rolls here, see what kind of crazy ideas we end up with. Got a 2 and an 8. The carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to run directly into this tear in reality. The carriage driver leaned back, said to the group, "Don't worry, we just need a sacrifice." Why are you guys looking at me like that? Yeah, it opens up on this back road every now and then. The whole town knows about it. We just need to chuck something in. It'll close right back up. You guys have just like a familiar, maybe? Or like maybe we could find a pig. We just need something alive. It's like, wait, what goes on around this town? What and why? Grab the goat. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to run directly into the stone tower. Carriage driver looked back at the party and said, "Don't worry. I can pay the fee." It's like, hold on. The fee? It's like, yeah, there's this old wizard that do you guys have like one of those neighborhood watch, neighborhood societies, you know, people well, anyway, this guy thinks that this road is his, and whenever he's awake, he basically moves his tower over here in the way. If we don't pay him, he's never going to let us go by. So just everybody empty your pockets. Carriage came to sudden stop so as not to run directly into the onyx night, reflecting light back at them. Driver called back, "Don't worry. I don't think they see us." The knight would probably respond, I could totally see you. You're right. You're like 2 feet from me. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to run directly into a group of red-eyed goats. Driver called back, said, "Don't worry. I know a shortcut," before tearing off the road into the field. The goats giving chase from behind, and gaining, actually. The Onyx Knight. Hey, Mon. Just finishing up the daily encounter for today. Right on time, actually. All right. Another roll here. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to hit the giant's foot, filling the road. The driver called back to the group, said, "Don't worry. They just need a ride. Could you guys make room? Scooch. Yeah, no. He'll shrink on down. He's coming. Just give him a minute. It always takes him a minute. This is Gary. Always takes Gary a minute. Just scooch over. Don't make this weird. Turns out this driver is like my favorite character in this imaginary session we've created. Carriage came to a sudden stop so as not to run directly into a conjured wall of fire. Driver called back, "Don't worry at all about me because I quit." Got up, walked off into the darkness. Didn't ask for payment. Didn't need a single other thing from the group. Seemed to enjoy the peace of the unknown darkness off the beaten path. Just noped. Nope. Awesome. Well, there we go. Now we're all caught up. If I stuck around for another hour on this stream, we could do tomorrow, but that is against the spirit. As fun as it is, we'll leave it there until tomorrow's daily encounter stream. At least I saved myself from another triple. Don't know why my camera's so glitchy, but hey, thanks, Charles. Well, I'm briefly stepping away here. I'm excited too. I'm glad you like it. That's definitely the goal. But I'm stepping away for just a minute. I'm going to switch the stream over to play some of the Seance of Blake Manor. See you, Empress. See you, Stan. So if I did it right, this stream will basically end and just jump over to the other stream. We'll see. Luckily, no glitches, hopefully, on the other stream, but we'll see. But thanks, everybody. It's a good time. Thanks for subbing. Discord link, if you're new, should be in the chat here in a second. And yeah, catch you guys for the next one.